Imagine being alone in a vast, frozen forest. The temperature plunges to -40 degrees Celsius, where every breath feels like shards of ice in your lungs. You're dressed head to toe in white, blending into the endless snow like a ghost. You've been lying motionless for hours, snow packed in your mouth to hide the steam of your breath. One wrong move and you're dead. But you're not the prey, you're the predator. In just 100 brutal days, this unassuming Finnish farmer named Simo Häyhä turned the tide of a hopeless war. Without a single scope on his rifle, he racked up over 505 confirmed kills, striking terror into the hearts of an invading Soviet army. They called him the White Death, a legend who vanished into the blizzard, inspiring a nation to fight against impossible odds. This is the story of how one man's unbreakable will, raw skill, and sheer determination became the stuff of nightmares. And heroes, stick around, you won't believe how it ends. November 30, 1939. The sky darkens over Finland as the Soviet Union, led by Joseph Stalin, launches a brutal invasion. They send over 500,000 soldiers, thousands of tanks, and endless artillery against a nation of just 3.7 million people. Finland has barely 300,000 troops. No air superiority, almost no tanks. The world expects Finland to fall in weeks, but something extraordinary happens. Deep in the frozen forests of the Kolar River, one quiet, unassuming man steps forward and changes everything. His name is Simo Häyhä, just 5 feet 3 inches tall, a simple farmer from a small village in southern Finland. He spent his days tending fields, hunting in the wilderness, and living a life of humble discipline. Before the war, Simo was already a marksman of rare talent. As a young man, he joined the Finnish Civil Guard, a volunteer militia, and dominated shooting competitions, hitting targets others could only dream of. He learned to read the wind, to feel the cold, to become one with the land. And when his country called, he answered, not for glory, not for fame, but because Finland was his home. His people were under threat, and he refused to let invaders take it without a fight. What Simo Häyhä did next didn't just save lives. It inspired an entire nation to stand against impossible odds. He became the embodiment of Sisu, the Finnish spirit of unbreakable courage and determination in the face of overwhelming hardship. And over the next 100 days, he would earn a name that still sends chills down the spine, the White Death. Simo Häyhä wasn't born a killer, he was born a survivor. Growing up in the harsh wilderness of southern Finland, near the Russian border, Simo learned from a young age what it meant to endure. As a boy, he spent endless hours in the forests tracking animals, reading the wind, learning how to move without a sound. His grandfather taught him to shoot, and Simo didn't just learn, he mastered it. By his teens, he was hunting wolves and reindeer with precision that amazed even seasoned hunters. A single shot. Clean, silent, no waste. But it wasn't just skill, it was patience. The kind most people can't even imagine. He could lie still in the snow for hours, waiting for the perfect moment. He understood the land like it was part of him. At 17, Simo joined the Finnish Civil Guard, a volunteer force that trained ordinary citizens to defend their homeland. There, he didn't just participate, he dominated. In shooting competitions, he consistently hit targets at distances others thought impossible. Records show he once hit a target 16 times out of 16 shots at 150 meters. Year after year, he proved he was something special. Quiet, humble, never boasting. He didn't seek attention. He didn't need it. He just prepared. Because deep down, Simo carried something the Soviets would never understand. Sisu. That Finnish word with no direct translation, it means courage, resilience, guts, the refusal to give up, no matter how dark things get. Simo had Sisu in his blood. And when the Red Army crossed the border in 1939, that quiet farmer picked up his rifle, not out of hate, but out of love for his country, his people, his way of life. Little did the world know, this soft-spoken man, barely over 5 feet tall, was about to become the most feared sniper in history. A lone wolf in white, ready to defend his home against an empire. The Soviets expected an easy victory. They advanced in waves, confident their numbers would crush Finland. But on the frozen Kolar River front, something stopped them cold. Day after day, Soviet officers dropped. Soldiers fell before they even saw the enemy. Panic spread through the ranks. Who was doing this? It was Simo, alone. And his tactics weren't just smart, they were genius, born from a lifetime in the wilderness. First, the rifle, a simple Finnish variant of the Mosin Nagant. Accurate, reliable, but Simo refused to use a telescopic scope. Why? Because in the bright snow, a scope could catch the sunlight and flash, like a signal saying, "Shoot here." It could fog up in the extreme cold, and it raised his head higher, making him a bigger target. Instead, he used only iron sights, shooting with open eyes, pure skill at distances up to 450 meters. Next, camouflage, not just a white jacket. Simo wore a full white snow suit. He rolled in the snow until he was invisible. He became part of the landscape. He dug shallow snow pits, lined them with compacted snow to reduce muzzle flash. He stayed there, motionless for hours, sometimes days. To hide his breath in the freezing air, he packed snow in his mouth. No steam, no trace. He chose positions carefully, never in obvious places, never the same spot twice. He studied the wind, the light, the shadows. And when he fired one shot, one kill, then silence, the Soviets were terrified. They started calling him Belaya Smirt, the White Death, a ghost in the snow who struck without warning and vanished. They sent counter-snipers to hunt him, elite marksmen. Nothing. They shelled entire forests with artillery, trying to flush him out. Still nothing. In one single day, Simo recorded 25 confirmed kills. Over 98 100 days of active fighting, his official confirmed sniper kills reached 505. Some records say as high as 542, and that's only with the rifle. With his swarmy submachine gun, he took another 200+ lives in close defense. 505 men with iron sights in sub-zero hell, not out of rage, not for revenge, but because every life he took saved Finnish lives, held the line, gave his people hope. Simo didn't just fight a war. He became a symbol, proof that courage, discipline, and unbreakable will can stand against any force, no matter how overwhelming. One man, one rifle, one frozen battlefield, and an entire invading army brought to its knees in fear. Now let's talk about the moments that turned Simo Häyhä into a living legend. In the dead of winter, when most soldiers could barely move in the freezing cold, Simo was at his deadliest. One single day stands out above all others. 25 confirmed kills in 24 hours. 25 lives ended with calm, precise shots, one after another, while the Soviet forces desperately searched for the invisible ghost in the snow. That single day alone is more than many snipers achieved in an entire war. But that was just one peak. Over the 98 to 100 days he fought actively, Simo's tally kept climbing. Day after day, shot after shot. By the end of his service, 505 confirmed sniper kills. Some Finnish military records and historians even place the number at 542. Let that sink in. Over 500 enemy soldiers, officers, machine gunners, scouts taken out by one man with iron sights in temperatures that could kill you just by standing still. And he didn't stop there. When close quarters fighting broke out, Simo switched to his swarmy KP-31 submachine gun, the famous Finnish chatterbox. With it, he added another 200+ kills defending his positions. Total lives ended by this quiet farmer. More than 700 confirmed. The Soviets were so terrified that entire battalions changed their tactics. They stopped advancing in daylight. They moved only in large groups. They even offered rewards for anyone who could kill the White Death. They sent their best counter-snipers, elite marksmen with the latest scopes and training. Simo outwitted every single one. They bombarded forests with artillery, hoping to force him out. He simply moved to another position and kept firing. These weren't just numbers on a page. Each kill bought time for Finnish reinforcements. Each kill saved Finnish lives. Each kill gave a small, outnumbered nation the courage to keep fighting against the impossible. Simo wasn't counting bodies. He was protecting his home, protecting his people. And in doing so, he became more than a sniper, he became hope. A living reminder that one person, armed with nothing but skill, patience, and unbreakable will, can stand against an empire and win. And the most incredible part, the story wasn't over yet, because even legends can bleed. March 6, 1940, after 98 days of unrelenting terror for the Soviets, the unthinkable happened. Simo was in his usual position, motionless in the snow, eyes calm behind iron sights. A Soviet counter-sniper had been watching, waiting. He spotted a tiny irregularity in the snow, a shadow that didn't quite belong. He fired. The bullet was an explosive round, designed to cause maximum damage. It struck Simo directly in the lower jaw. The impact was horrific. Half his face was torn away. Blood soaked the white snow crimson. His comrades rushed to him, expecting to find a corpse. One soldier later wrote, "We thought he was dead. His head was swollen to twice its size. His face unrecognizable." They carried him on a stretcher through the forest, believing the legend had finally fallen. Simo lay unconscious for days. But here's where the story turns from tragedy to miracle. On March 13, 1940, the very day the Winter War officially ended with a ceasefire, Simo Häyhä woke up in a field hospital. Against every odd, he opened his eyes. The doctors were stunned. The man they called the White Death refused to die. He had lost half his jaw. His face would be permanently scarred. He would never look the same. But his spirit, unbroken. Simo didn't just survive the bullet that should have killed him. He survived to see his country endure, to see the Soviets pay a price they never expected. And in that hospital bed, as peace finally came, Simo proved once again that Sisu isn't just about fighting. It's about rising when everyone else believes you're finished. The White Death had been wounded, but the legend, it only grew stronger. Simo Häyhä survived. Doctors rebuilt what they could of his jaw. His face remained heavily scarred for the rest of his life, a permanent reminder of the price he paid. But the fire in his eyes, that never faded. He spent months recovering, unable to speak at first. Yet even in silence, his presence inspired everyone around him. When Finland's legendary commander, Field Marshal Carl Gustaf Mannerheim, heard of Simo's deeds, he personally promoted him from corporal to second lieutenant, an extraordinary jump in rank. It was the highest honor a humble farmer could receive. After the war, Simo returned to the life he loved. He went back to farming, back to hunting, becoming a successful moose hunter, often accompanied by Finland's presidents on trips into the wilderness. He lived simply, quietly, never seeking fame. When asked about his incredible kill count, Simo's response was pure humility. "I only did my duty. The outcome was good." He rarely spoke of the war, no boasting, no bitterness, just peace. Simo Häyhä passed away peacefully on April 1, 2002 at the age of 96. But his legacy, that will never die. He still holds the record for the most confirmed sniper kills in any major war, a record that historians agree will likely never be broken. More than that, he became the ultimate symbol of Sisu, the Finnish spirit that says, no matter how big the enemy, no matter how dark the odds, one person with courage and determination can make a difference. In Finland today, children learn his name in school. Soldiers study his tactics. People around the world tell his story as proof that true heroes aren't loud or flashy. They're the quiet ones, the disciplined ones, the ones who stand up when their home is threatened and refuse to back down. Simo Häyhä didn't just fight for Finland. He showed the world what real strength looks like. And that's why, even decades after his last shot, the White Death remains immortal. Simo Häyhä never wanted to be a legend. He was just a farmer who loved his country. And when it needed him most, he answered the call with everything he had. 505 kills without a scope, one man against an empire, a story of skill, patience, courage, and unbreakable Sisu. He showed us that true heroes aren't the loudest in the room. They're the ones who stay calm in the storm, who do what needs to be done, no matter the cost, who refuse to quit, even when the whole world expects them to fall. The White Death may have left this world in 2002, but his spirit lives on. Every time someone stands up against impossible odds, Every time someone chooses discipline over comfort, every time a small nation or a single person refuses to bow, that's Simo Häyhä's legacy. Thank you for watching this story with me. If it moved you, if it inspired you even a little, hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs to hear that one person can still make a difference. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because this channel is going to be full of more incredible, lesser-known stories from World War II snipers. The ghosts in the ruins, the women who terrified armies, the duels that changed battles. Who should I cover next? Lady Death Lyudmila Pavlichenko, the Stalingrad sniper war, or another forgotten legend? Drop your vote in the comments right now. I read every single one. This is just the beginning. Thank you for being here. Stay strong, and I'll see you in the next one. Final frame. Simo's scarred portrait with text, Simo Häyhä 1905-2002, The White Death. Music fades triumphantly. That's your complete, ready-to-record script. Emotional, gripping, inspirational, and built to hold attention from start to finish.